All right, good to go. So, Mike McCormick, I'm here with Claremont County Safe Communities, and today we're talking with Lieutenant Bobby Hayslip, commander of the Batavia Highway Patrol Post, and heading into a 4th of July weekend. Thought it'd be a good idea to sit down and just chat about a few things. Um, we've come to I guess, the end of COVID, the beginning of summer, and 4th of July. So a lot of things going on. Uh, what are you guys looking forward to this coming weekend?
Well, I mean, obviously, our goal is to keep everybody safe on the roadways, and we do expect high travel, just because obviously the last year and several months have been a lot different than our, like last Fourth of July, the traffic was way down Labor Day, and so we expect a lot of traffic on the roadways. So it's probably not a bad idea to sit down here and talk about a few things safety wise that um, could help people travel, have safe travels.
Right. What are some of the things that people should keep in mind and forefront of their mind as they go out on the highways this weekend?
Several things. The one thing is leave yourself enough time that you don't need to be in a hurry to get where you're going.
Right.
A lot of times we end up, stopping people for speed or whatever the traffic violation is because they're running late to get to, someplace. So plan ahead, make sure they're leaving in plenty of time. Another thing for safety purposes is your vehicle. I have noticed in the last few days, disabled vehicles all over the roadways, and a lot of that's due to the high extreme heat that we have.
Oh
So
yeah.
make sure that people are checking their oil, checking the fluids in their vehicle, make sure their tires are in proper working condition, to avoid any type of breakdowns. I mean, it can still happen even if you check them, but at least you're trying to prevent it. Another thing is if you do have a vehicle breakdown, don't hesitate to call the highway patrol to come out and assist.
Mhm.
And another big thing is staying off the roadway. If your vehicle breaks down, get off the roadway if at all possible.
Right.
Generally speaking, you can get off to the shoulder. We have problems sometimes with people getting out working on their vehicles partially in the while they're partially in the road. It's not really worth getting hit by a vehicle. So
Right.
call for help, get either stay in the vehicle, or if you have the availability to get away from the vehicle in a safe location, do so, and we'll come out and help. We either call you a tow truck or help with whatever's needed. But we don't want someone to get hit out there.
Right.
Um, another thing is defensive driving. Um, when you're driving, especially on these interstate routes, it can get very busy. I
Mhm.
would tell someone to drive, kind of a rule of thumb in those type scenarios is drive like you have your baby in your car.
Right.
You don't want to get hurt. You're defensive. You're kind of evaluating the traffic pattern. If someone's going to cut you off, you're making sure you're leaving plenty of room between you and the vehicle in front of you. If someone does cut in front of you, reduce your speed a little bit. Give yourself extra distance, to make sure you get where you're going safe. Obviously, there will probably be some people who are driving aggressively. That's our job to try and make sure that we stop those people and try and change behavior. But we want most people to drive defensively, always looking for an outlet in case something happens, leaving yourself proper distance, not exceeding speed limits, that type of thing, wearing safety belts. Big thing is distracted driving now.
Yeah.
Put the phones down. I know a lot of people will be using GPS and stuff like that, which that is actually legal. They can look, they can use the map function of a phone. But if it distracts you from driving and you're driving over the lines and stuff, then that's a
Oh yeah.
violation of the high revised code, and then the distracted driver portion of it as well, if
Well, the
they're
best
holding
thing
the
on
phone.
that is to use the voice assist on it because they can give you turn by turn directions without having to actually look at the phone.
Yeah, but if you're taking your eyes off the road to text someone or even dial a phone call, like you said, the
Oh yeah.
voice, when you're in heavy traffic like that and someone hits their brakes quickly, you're going to have a hard time getting stopped. And then, the people behind it creates like a chain reaction type.
Right.
deal, and at 65 miles per hour, that can have serious consequences. So, the other thing is planning ahead and designating a driver. If you're going to a fireworks show and you plan to consume alcohol, we'd ask that you plan ahead, have someone who's not going to be consuming alcohol, and stick to the plan. Don't change your plan once you get there and have a few alcoholic drinks and believe, well, I'm not that drunk, or I only have a little buzz. It's not worth taking the
Right.
chance on.
Yeah, buzz driving is still drunk driving.
Exactly. I'm just speaking for Claremont County. Statistically, our crashes are down from the previous year, but our fatal crashes are up
Uh,
compared to the previous year. And our whole goal was to make sure that we have no traffic fatalities or serious injury crashes during this holiday weekend. We want to try and make the traffic flow as safe as possible. There's a lot of construction zones and things like that. Make sure that as you enter those construction zones that you're slowing down, because the lanes do get more narrow in some of those areas. So you have to take extra caution, slow down. And we would ask that if, when we're on traffic stops, that you slow down or move over if at all possible, because same thing with everyone else. Our officers want to make it home safely as well.
right.
So we just ask that you extend us that courtesy, even though it is the law. It's more of a courtesy. And
Yeah.
I know there are instances where you can't get over with the heavy traffic on the interstate, but you can reduce the speed and pass by safely in that manner. So that's what I would ask. And remember the seatbelts, but that's the main message we're pushing. And essentially, we just want to safe travels.
Now, something you said just a few seconds ago, you said that the crashes are down, but the fatalities are up. What would cause that? What kind of things?
What we've noticed is speed is a common trend, and distraction. And that's why I hit on those two things is um, speed kills, plain and simple.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a number one cause in traffic crashes, and it has been for some time. Um, so slow down, and distracted driving has become, as the technology increases, distracted driving has become almost like an epidemic.
right.
People cannot take their focus off of their phone while they're driving. And, I see a lot of times when people say, well, officers are the worst offenders of this because they're using computers and stuff in their car. And, I'm not going to get in an argument. But I will say we do receive a lot of training in driving, defensive techniques. And our officers do have the discretion that if it's not safe to use the computer to initiate traffic stops, they can do it by voice and have the dispatchers do that for them.
Yeah,
So for those that are saying that, I see those sometimes. I'm like, sometimes maybe they have a valid point. Maybe we do, and we talk to our officers about that, making sure that they are staying on task and doing the same things that we're asking other people to do, not becoming distracted while they're driving.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but yeah, but speed, seat belts, distracted driving, and obviously OVI. And we've talked about this before, but there are so many options out there to get home safely with, Uber, Lyft, taxi services, designated drivers. It's kind of silly to
Right.
take a chance.
The big thing is, like you said before, planning ahead. That making sure that you have a plan in place if you're going to drink.
Sure.
That you don't end up driving home.
And things sometimes, I'm not going to say that every plan works perfectly, right? But if the plan fails, there are still many other options to get home safely without
Right.
getting behind the wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
And,
don't want to, we
yeah.
don't want
Well,
someone to be killed as a result of someone making a bad decision.
right. And when you talked about distracted driving, um, there was a fatality just this week in Brown County with a garbage truck. Somebody hit the driver, and that made me think about that. Plus, as you said earlier, the road construction going on. There's a lot of that going on, and it's very easy to get the speeds. When they slow down, the speed limit slows down to 45 or 55 or whatever it is in a construction zone. So you got people flying through there, and you got workers. I mean, they're just right there on the line.
That's very true. I mean, that's a dangerous job with, 4,000 pounds of steel driving 65 miles per hour right next to you.
Right.
You're relying on them to make sure they're paying attention. I don't know the specifics on the crash in Brown County. I know about it, but I don't know the specifics of what caused it. But um, on a normal daylight, daylight outside, that an accident like that really shouldn't happen.
Right.
If someone is paying attention. And we find people texting and driving, we find people reading while they're driving, we find people putting makeup on, brushing hair. I mean, you kind of can name it. We see those things while we're driving. I'm sure others see it while they're driving as well. As they drive throughout the day, I see a lot of people on their phones looking down in their lap. Just
Yeah.
takes a split second to make a bad, not see something happening in front of you. And then sometimes it's too late to, you can't have those moments back after they're gone. So
Right. Yeah. It's hard to take it back. Um, so you talked about the safety, making sure that you're prepared before you head out this weekend with your vehicle, maintenance, those types of things. Um, when we look at the DUIs and all these things coming together for this weekend, um, how long do you expect this to go through? Because people are taking some extra days on both ends. Is the highway patrol, are you guys kind of focusing a wider range of days than you normally would with all this, into COVID, everything coming together at once?
yeah, I mean, our main focus is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's some of the federal holiday guidelines, but we have like federal overtime hours to allow for additional units to be out on the roadway. The main focus will be for those 4 days. Not to say that we won't focus previous to, shortly before, and
Right.
and then after as well. That's going to be our main focus, is to get through that, because that's going to be the core of the high travel times, and we want to try and eliminate any drastic circumstances during that 4 day
Right.
period. I don't want them anytime, but that's going to be our primary focus right now.
Right. Yeah. Because as I had heard a report, a lot of people, because of all the stuff that's going on, had taken extra days before, extra days after, stretching it into, since it falls the way it falls, stretching it in as many vacation days as they can get. And uh, they said that the expect record travel over 2019 pre-COVID stuff. So, it could be a really, really a lot of fun, but has a potential for a lot of danger if people aren't careful and prepared.
Very true. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's a record breaking travel, just because of all the things that are leading up to this. But I think if they follow the kind of the outline of what we talked about,
Mhm.
they'll make it to their destination safely, and they'll make it back safely.
Now, if a couple things before we wrap it up, uh, if somebody breaks down on the highway, if they have an emergency, or if they see somebody that's intoxicated and driving, how do they contact you, and what do they do? What's the steps to take?
So if they're specifically in Claremont County, you could just or in whatever county that has a highway patrol post, you could contact that post directly. You can also call pound 677 to report impaired or drug drivers, or someone that you
Mhm.
suspect, or even a reckless operator, someone who's traveling at high speeds, cutting vehicles off. A lot of times people hesitate they don't want to get involved. They hesitate
Right.
to call in, and we would ask you, if it's someone that's, you see something that you feel like they're endangering others' lives, take the time to make the call, and we'll send
Right.
somebody. We don't catch all of them. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, every reckless op call we catch them. Sometimes we don't, but we try.
Mhm.
And there's only so many of us to go around, but we partner with other law enforcement agencies. We'll send that information to them as well, and sometimes they're able to intercept those people. But if you don't let us know, then you know it'll be dependent upon us to actually witness it physically
Right.
in front of us,
Yeah, the odds a
and
lot less.
sometimes that's not possible.
Right. Okay. Well, we look forward to a great holiday. you guys stay safe out there, and we appreciate all that you do. Um, it's a great service. Um, I've seen many times along the highway, highway patrolman stopping and assisting a disabled vehicle. I personally uh, have I ran out of gas once, and a highway patrolman used a little pump under the hood and gave me some gas.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah.
just
We
anything
take,
like that.
we take pride in that, or I know I certainly do. As if a disabled vehicle is stopped along the roadway, then we need to be, we need to be checking on those people, especially with temperatures the way they
Right.
are right now. It gets very hot very quickly on those blacktop roadways. And people who have children in
Oh
vehicles
yes.
and so forth, we
Yes.
want to make sure we get to them and get them to a safe location or contact someone to come get them, whatever we can do to help, we will.
All
But
right.
I just want everyone to have a safe holiday travels, and hope they enjoy themselves, but stay safe.
All right. Thank you, Lieutenant Hayslip. You
All
have a
right,
great
thank
week.
you. You too.
Bye.